Hello and welcome to Who Watches Who, a Doctor Who podcast with me, Matthew, and as always, I am joined with...
Yes, hello, it's Scott. We're doing Captain Jack Harkness today. That sounds kinky.
We're
doing Captain Jack Harkness.
Maybe we'll have more luck than Captain Jack had in this episode with trying to do Captain Jack. No, but this was fun. We're looking at Torchwood, of course, Series 1, Episode 12, Captain Jack Harkness. Is there a theme to this? Is there a reason we're watching this episode, Scott, or are we just
we'll find out next week. You'll find out next week.
Ooh, interesting. We'll find out next week. Be sure to tune in for that. This episode that we are currently going to be covering, Captain Jack Harkness, first aired on the 4th of January 2007, which was a Thursday, and a whopping 19 years, 2 months, and 4 days ago,
well,
if you can believe it.
To cut you off right there, I don't know why BBC iPlayer has the 4th of January. That is the original air date for the BBC 2 airing, but this episode actually aired on the 1st of January 2007 on BBC 3.
See, I did see the 1st of January. I saw that on Google. I was like, I'll double check that on iPlayer. And it said the 4th. I decided to go with iPlayer.
Fair
so
enough.
That's what we're going with. It doesn't change really anything that I've got here for the highest grossing movie. That stays the same as a little clue into what that could possibly be. But on the 4th of January, when this was replaying, apparently, Nancy Pelosi was elected to be the first female speaker of the Congress. Mm-hmm. The 110th United States Congress convenes and elects Nancy Pelosi as the first female Speaker of the House. Of course, she's famous for being insanely old. she's an insanely old person now.
Yeah.
I think she's left Senate, though, finally, after a million years. She crawled away from it. But, yeah, what an old person. What an old person. Other than that, on this day, nothing happened but Torchwood re-aired and was the primary airing, not New Year's Day. It's weird that this episode aired on New Year's Day.
But this was a big week for Doctor Who fans. On the 24th of December, we had episode 11 of Torchwood. And then the following day, we had the Doctor Who Christmas special, The Runaway Bride. And then on New Year's Day, we had the pilot episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures and the two-part final of Torchwood, episode 12 and episode 13. So that's like 4.5 hours of Doctor Who content we got in 9 days. Nowadays, you're lucky to have that in a year.
Yeah, so it's long past those days for Doctor Who. That's never, ever coming back. Unless in like 30 years' time they fully reboot the show again and it becomes massive, which, stranger things have happened. So, number one movie is the same in the UK as it is in the US. So there's only one movie you have to worry about right now. What people aren't going to see Torchwood on BBC. They're going out to the cinema. What are they watching?
So I presume this is a 2006 release. That's probably like a carryover.
Yes, you're correct.
So what came out?
It is a carryover from 2006.
What the fuck came out in the Christmas period of 2006? I cannot remember.
I think it's a family film. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's kind of an obvious one.
It's a family film. Yeah, but it's still giving you something. I can give you some more clues as we go if you require them.
I'll need another.
Set in New York.
Set in New York. Is it Enchanted?
Nope, no, it's not Enchanted. This is a movie that made money.
Night at the Museum.
It is. Well done. It is
Night
at the Museum. Night at the Museum premiered in New York City on December 17th, 2006, as was released in the United States on December 22nd. The film received mixed reviews and grossed $574.5 million, becoming the 5th highest grossing film in 2006. It was also the highest grossing film directed by Sean Levi until he did Deadpool and Wolverine. Weird director. I didn't realize he had done both of those movies.
I think he's doing a Star Wars movie now.
Oh, really? Awesome. Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Museum officials at the American Museum of Natural History credited the film for increasing the number of visitors during the holiday season by almost 20%. According to a museum official, between December 22nd and January 7th, 2007, there were 50,000 more visitors during the same year compared to where it was the year before the film release. So it made kids want to go out and go see the fucking museum, which is awesome. I'm pretty sure, but like when I saw this film as a kid, I definitely wanted to go. Like, I want to go see fucking dinosaurs. I want to go see a museum. What if they all come alive? It was this film. I think I don't know if you have any relationship with the Night of the Museum films.
I'm not sure if I watched it as a child or if I watched like clips of it or like saw it on TV now and again. I think I watched it for the first time quite recently. I don't like this movie. It's it's not.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I really enjoyed it as a kid. It was one of those ones that I think really like sparked imagination if you were like younger, because it's like that Toy Story effect, you know, of like, oh, what if the museum's alive? What if my toys are alive? Sort of thing. The film released on a 2-disc DVD edition in the UK in April 23rd, 2007. Released 1-disc and 2-disc and Blu-ray in April 24th, 2007 elsewhere. As of December 6th, 2009, the film sold 9 million units in DVDs and crossed $153 million in DVD sales. So it was a fucking hit, and it was everywhere except in Scott's house.
Yeah, this was a big fucking movie. You know, this was a big time for like movies on DVDs with all the special features. Like this was peak DVD times. Like just right after the Lord of the Rings trilogy came out, the Star Wars prequels were loaded with special features. Those were the days, man. Now you're lucky to have like a director's commentary.
I know, it's miserable. Blu-rays especially. Blu-rays used to be even more. Like, DVDs was like, oh, we've got all this stuff, but the Blu-ray can fit even more data, so we've got even more stuff on it. And now it's like the Blu-ray is just a scan of the DVD.
Yeah.
You know?
Like DVDs nowadays just have, like, maybe some deleted scenes you'll find on YouTube, some featurettes you'll find on YouTube. It's dire.
Yeah. It was a golden age for sure, but that's all I've got for on this day. Nice and quick. What are we doing a writer's segment?
Well, not a big writer's segment this week. This episode was written by Catherine Trianga, who wrote 4 episodes of Torchwood, 6 episodes of Law and Order UK, which was showrun by Chibnall, so she was employed by Chibnall for quite a while. She also wrote Doctor Who: The Woman Who Lived, which was the second episode to feature me. As in the character me, not me.
Oh yes, okay. You got the girl who died and the woman who lived. Yes.
Not a great 2-parter, but
I don't remember it at all, other than not liking it. Yeah.
This was directed by Ashley Way, who also did Attack of the Grask, which was like that online fun little mini game kind of thing that was around Christmas 2005. She also did TARDISodes. Every episode of season 2 of Doctor Who had TARDISodes.
Don't feel like you could get away with calling something a TARDISode these days.
But yeah, these were like mini episodes, prequels to like season 2 episodes of Doctor Who. They were back when, you know, like Totally Doctor Who was a thing on CBBC, which was like a magazine show for little kids. She also directed 6 episodes of Torchwood, 2 episodes of Doctor Who. She did the Silurian 2-parter in 2010, which was obviously written by Chris Chibnall as well. She did 8 episodes of Sarah Jane Adventures. She did The Death of the Doctor and Curse of Clyde Langer, which we've covered on this podcast. 2 very good episodes of Sarah Jane.
Good episode.
She also did some Merlin episodes, and she recently directed all the episodes of The Guest with Eve Miles, who of course plays Gwen Cooper on Torchwood. So that's
that's a lot.
With this episode of Torchwood, Russell T Davies was keen on the idea of Jack returning to World War II, a time he feels at home in. Of course, when we first met Captain Jack, he was in World War II. So there's like 3 different kind of versions of Captain Jack Harkness in World War II times, which is weird.
Yeah, he's all over the place, but you know, timey-wimey, isn't it? Timey-wimey whatevers.
This episode won the Welsh BAFTA for Best Costume Design and was nominated for the Best Dramatic Presentation Short Form at the 2008 Hugo Awards. Like, this is an expensive episode in terms of, like, just the set design and the costume design. This is, like, probably one of the most expensive episodes of Torchwood from the first 2 seasons. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
On BBC Three, this episode had 1.23 million viewers on New Year's Day, which is huge for BBC Three back then. Even now, it's huge.
That's what Doctor Who gets these days.
And on BBC Two, it had 2.14 million views. Like, this show was such a huge hit at the time. But yeah, that's
yeah, it was good. I mean, I never watched. I was too young for it, but
I was also too young for it. I was 9 when this episode aired.
I was 6 when this episode aired. I was 6 years old. You know, but it's good. It's good. But yeah, we might as well just jump straight into the episode now, where we're gonna break it down and talk about it scene by scene. So strap in as we get ready to watch Captain Jack Harkness. Yeah. So our episode of Torchwood begins with a car driving down the road really fast, and there's loads of people everywhere and traffic. It's swerving, it's honking, it's horn. No, it's an empty road, but they honk the horn because I think maybe they were like, there needs to be some sound happening in this scene because it's just a car driving down an empty road. You know?
Yeah, it is.
Something needs to happen.
It's really fucking bizarre, but he just. But before we go, the recap, the opening recap. You know, we get the classic 21st centuries where everything changes, etc. But in that little montage at the very start of the episode, they decide to insert some footage of, like, Owen's whole deal with his girlfriend, who was a pilot from the 50s, who went out of the rift into present day and then left again. I don't know why they did it that way. It would make more sense to just do a previously on Torchwood. Because, you know, you're not you're not expecting it to be important for the events of this episode, and it doesn't explain what happened in that situation, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a previously on would have gone way better. Maybe they were short for time.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, episodes running long, can't include it. You know, but we can stick it in this, like, little bit here at the start. No idea.
Yeah, one of the first things we actually see in this episode are Vote Saxon posters, which is very interesting.
Yes.
Also, the first
It's
appearance
very
we saw of a reference to Saxon was actually in Love and Monsters, where the Zorbalorf is reading a newspaper which says Saxon leads polls with 64%. The second reference to Saxon came just 1 week before this episode aired in The Runaway Bride, when the army receives orders from a Mr. Saxon to destroy the Rachnos Webstar on Christmas Eve. So this is our third reference to Saxon in Torchwood, which is fun little continuity nods. It's not John Sims turning to the camera being like, ooh, I'm a mysterious man, you know?
Yeah. Captain Jack doesn't look at the poster and grab it and go, Vote Saxon? Huh.
Like,
and then put it back, you know, just to make sure we saw it.
Like, this is really solid world building here. It's building up to the Saxon arc. It's great. It's not in your face. Like, if you see it, great. If you don't see it, you're not missing anything. You're not like, why is this person talking to us?
I somehow didn't spot it until I was watching it right here. I was watching this morning. Missed the Vote Saxon bit.
There's also more Easter eggs inside the building. There's Bad Wolf graffiti and a preacher symbol. The preacher is the group of people in Pete's world who investigated the Cyberman creator. I don't know why the graffiti is inside the dance hall here, because that was in a totally different universe, but let's ignore it.
Okay, nerd. Okay.
But yeah, the dance hall here is an old abandoned nightclub. They had 5 days to redress the building, and they shot the 40s stuff first and the 2000s stuff second, because it's easier to just fucking tear down the 1940s set design, you know, and make it look disused.
It's a very pretty building.
Yeah, it's
the inside's
they really spent a lot of money on this episode with all the costumes, all the fucking extras. There's like 30 extras just floating around this episode. It's insane, and they're all dressed in 40s garb. It really looks good for Torchwood. You know, this is a BBC Three budget. This looks solid.
Yeah, no, you don't ever feel like the characters are out of place. Like, it feels like when they're in the 40s, like, yeah, they're in the 40s, I believe that. When they're in modern day, feels modern day.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's not that disconnect. Speaking of disconnect, the biggest disconnect for me comes after the intro bit. So obviously Captain Jack walk in, and then they're like, "There's like ghosts here or something," and then they turn around and they're suddenly in the past. And that's like the hook of the episode, that they've fallen into the past. How are they going to get out? And we get the little Torchwood sting because the intro has to play twice for some reason. And then we open with Yanto and what's his name? The
Owen.
Gore Deathman
Burn
guy.
Gorman
What's his actual
plays Owen.
Yeah, Burn Gorman, best name in the entire world.
It's so fucking rad, and you know he's recently
most metal name ever.
He's recently been in Tim Burton stuff. He's in Beetlejuice, and he is great in Beetlejuice because he just has a. Sorry, I just said Beetlejuice 3 times. Fuck. But yeah, he's great in that movie because he just has the face for a Tim Burton movie. You know what I mean? Like, he looks creepy as fuck.
Yeah. I'm sure be glad to hear that. But him and Yanto have very little to do in this episode, it feels like, and they spend the whole time bickering.
Yeah.
And they're my least favorite part of this episode. Whenever we get to them, I'm like, okay, go away. I don't want to fucking get going.
It's the same note over and over again. There's a power dynamic, and they're just fighting for who's the leader of the two of them. Because Gwen is away to the dance hall to investigate what happened to Jack and Tosh. Gwen isn't in this episode much because Eve Miles was shooting another episode of a show called Random Shoes. This is like a double bank situation, kind of like Love and Monsters and Fear Her, you know, like when they shoot two episodes at the same time and they don't involve cast members too much. She is.
I think they still do that, really, you know.
Yeah. But yeah. Owen is, of course, recovering from Alien Fight Club. He is grumpy as fuck in this episode, and I don't like either of them. They are fucking awful.
They are horrible in this episode. It's maybe the most... Yanto in Season 1 is a very unlikable character. Yeah. He's kind of a nothing bland, and he just whines all the time. And then, obviously, he's responsible for Cyberwoman. They figure Yanto out way later, but this Yanto I do not like. I don't like Season 1 Yanto. And Owen is... he's like a different character every episode. He's like in love with somebody new. He's having sex with fucking Gwen, you know, or he's having sex with the plane lady, or he's angry, or he's like nice to people, or he's rude, or he's dead, or he's alive. You know, like he's all over the place.
Yeah, and you know, as fucking Yanto points out, you met her for like 2 days. Why the fuck are you still so invested in this relationship? I haven't seen the episode in such a long time, but I didn't get the sense in that episode that they were meant to be together. You know, it's not like a memorable relationship in my mind. It's just
it's hard to do in one episode for 40 minutes. You know, and and I agree. It feels like everyone in the show falls in love in like a snap of a finger. It's like, okay, I believe you're in love, I guess, because you told me you were. You know.
But yeah, Owen is just really crying about Diane. He really wants to open the rift to get her back, and that's his entire arc in this episode. I really want to open the rift. I really want to, and the conflict of the episode comes from Yanto continuously telling Owen, you can't open the rift. It's dangerous. It will tear apart the entire city. God knows what will come out of the rift. God knows what will be sucked into the rift. Like, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
It's just not interesting.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not at all. It's very, very repetitive. As is Gwen's story in this episode, where she is just walking in and around the building, the abandoned building, going, Jack.
Yeah.
Tosh.
She's going around different rooms trying to explore stuff, but because this episode has a weird relationship where it's like she can't discover stuff until we see parts set in the past where, you know, Toshiko hides a note somewhere, but we can't have Gwen discover that note until we get to the point of the episode where Toshiko actually hides the note. So she's just wandering around this space for too long. It's very weird.
It is very weird. I think it's maybe just an issue with the story or the episode or like the script or something, because really the only parts that are interesting are the parts in the past, and I would honestly prefer if this episode was just, well, we're trapped in the past and it's just the two of us, we've lost contact with the team. Mm-hmm. We've got to try and find a way out of here.
Yeah,
you know? I think that's much more interesting.
Just make it a two-hander between Captain Jack and Toshiko, and really focus in on that relationship between the two Jacks. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm here for, and that's where the episode really pops. I really like the relationship between the two Jacks. It's interesting. It's unique. It's probably like the first gay relationship I saw on screen, like portrayed in like a serious kind of way, where it wasn't like a joke or like a we can't be together kind of thing. It's like a really fucking serious, proper relationship they explore here. It's really good.
Yeah, it's very solid. Of course, Captain Jack in this episode is not the Captain Jack that we know. He's the original Captain Jack that died, and our Captain Jack takes his name when he falls back into World War II. As just like an alias. So we don't actually know our Captain Jack's name. What does he call himself in this one?
Captain James Harper.
James Harper. Yeah, so but we'll probably just keep calling it. We'll just call them Jacks.
Yeah.
The two Jacks, you know.
two Jacks jacking off together.
They wish. They never get the chance.
But yeah,
Captain Jack, as we discover, has got this lady like searching for, like wanting to be with him. And you know, you were saying that you never picked up on him being gay. I honestly, when I was watching this for the first time, I didn't pick up on him being gay either until later in the episode.
But there is very subtle glances where Captain Jack is at the bar and his girlfriend comes over. And he kind of looks over at Captain Jack and kind of has that expression where he's like, I can't really proceed with this relationship because my girlfriend is here now. I can't. I really wanted to get to know Captain James Harper a bit more, but I can't because my girlfriend is here. You know, that kind of situation. Yes. There's a load of like different kind of glances that we can't really talk about because it just happened so briefly, but it's really solidly directed. I feel the relationship just forming here, even though it's really subtext here.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I can pick that up as well watching it the second time, but the first time seeing it just, you know, flew over my head. I was like, oh, what's happening? You know?
But yeah, we should talk about how Toshiko discovers that she's in the past. They go outside. And they're like, where's... Toshiko's where's the van? And she doesn't notice all the fucking British flags around her. It was like fucking 50 flags.
all the like old-timey people. It's nighttime now. Their vehicles are different. You know, I imagine maybe the temperature is different if the day is different. You know, like, there's like a million... The air probably smells different. Probably smells of cigarettes. You know, like everything stinks. You know, like, but yeah, she doesn't catch on. She's like, what the fuck? SUV.
Yeah, somebody must have stolen it. Yeah,
someone stole our car. What the fuck? You know, in Toshiko's mind, it's a whole different episode happening.
But yeah, they go back into the place, and there's a lot of stuff here where Toshiko obviously is an Asian woman. And obviously being an Asian woman in 1941 is very difficult. And I think this episode really does a good... I think this was the first time where I found out, like, you know, like Japanese people were persecuted after World War II. Like, I fucking didn't learn that in history class at 9 years old. So yeah. I'm learning stuff from Torchwood. I'm learning genuine stuff as a kid here. It's really solid.
Yeah. No, it's good. They don't shy away from it either, you know, like they have direct conversations about it. They have a character calls her a slur. Like they're pretty upfront and honest, which it's interesting seeing that. And then you go to series 3 of Doctor Who with David Tennant when he's traveling in the past with Martha, and he's like, everyone was chill in the past.
Oh no, I've
like racism's like not a thing, you know.
No, I've got that fucking quote down because Jack kind of tells Tosh to blend in, and that's where Tosh points out that she's Asian, because obviously she wouldn't be able to blend in because she's Asian, and like the Doctor did the same thing to Martha a few months later in was it the Shakespeare Code where Martha's like,
yep, the Shakespeare one.
Martha is like, oh, but hold on, am I all right? I'm not going to get carted off as a slave, am I? And the Doctor's like, why would they do that? Martha's like, not exactly white in case you haven't noticed. And the Doctor has this worst line David Tennant has ever said on the show, I think. I'm not even human. Just walk around like you own the place. Works for me. Which is an insane thing for a white man to say to a black lady when she's worried about being carted off as a slave.
Just like prosecute. That's not even real, you know. Like it's all in your head. It's about how people perceive you.
That's such an insane line.
If you go in with the attitude of like people are going to prosecute you, they're going to see that as a weakness. It's ridiculous.
Like,
it's a really bad line. It's a bad episode.
also,
a bad guy.
Also, walking around like she owns the place would make the situation even worse for her. You know?
Yeah.
But a soldier takes Toshiko for a dance, and a racist lady is disgusted. Of course, she says a slur. Jack decides to get into a fist fight with a man, and Tosh immediately scolds Jack for immediately failing to blend in. like Jack immediately causes a scene in the past here. It's insane.
Classic Jack.
But a man breaks up the fight and introduces himself as Captain Jack Harkness, and Billis Manger takes a picture as the two Jacks shake hands. I really fucking like Billis Manger here. He is such an interesting character.
He's interesting.
He is
he's
so
really
cool.
Interesting. He's a slimy, sneaky guy, you know. I've not seen the next part yet, so I don't really know anything about him. Other than he's a slimy, sneaky guy that Jack shoots in the next episode.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens next week.
Next time trailer.
But yeah, he is of course played by Murray Melvin, which is a kind of interesting name. Murray Melvin.
Yeah. Two first names.
The name Billis means king of the other world in Celtic mythology, so that's kind of cool. That's a cool name. And the character was originally conceived as a little person, apparently. But the two Jacks meet and they immediately want to fuck, I guess, is what we're learning here in this episode.
Yeah, that's a large chunk of it, is those two flirting. Tosh is like figuring out like a mathematical equation, which I think is to help them close the rift or something.
One half of the mathematical equation is on Toshiko's laptop, and the other half of the equation is somehow at the hub, and she has to figure out a way to get the mathematical equation from the past, and she still has to work out some of the mathematical equation. But she has to work out a way of getting one half of the mathematical equation into the future, which is kind of unnecessary.
They couldn't they just figure out the whole thing in the future?
Yeah,
just use like a supercomputer.
Like I feel like they should confront Billis Manger a little bit more in this episode to discover like how to get him back to the future, you know. But it's but they just kind of dance around him for a while. Jack's distracted by Jack. You know, so Tosh is kind of just like thrown to the wolves and left by herself to figure things out. Meanwhile, Gwen is still just kind of walking around the house, but the Manger guy's there as well. The Manger guy is in the house there. How can he be in two places at once? What's going on with this guy? And they identify him as the same guy because he's wearing like a neck scarf, a cravat. Yeah.
I think they call it, isn't it? Yes. And that's the only signal. Like they're on the phone. He's like, he's a bit of an odd guy. He's wearing a cravat. And then immediately Yanto's like, holy fuck, that's the same dude from the like it connects it, which I guess maybe that's why he works in Torchwood. He can make those sorts of connections and be right, you know.
Yeah, like a total connection. But yeah, Jack and Tosh are also in Billis Manger's office in the past, and they have a little conversation where they're like, okay, that camera you took a picture of shouldn't be invented yet, and Billis Manger is like, but you're carrying a laptop. Like, that metal case you're holding there shouldn't be invented yet either. Like, we're on to each other here.
Yeah. Also, like, I guess they've got wireless headsets on. They don't have mobile phones on them. Because, like, surely if they're taking photos, because, like, Tosh takes a photo of the mathematical equation, right? Like, just take a photo with your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Save it to the cloud, I guess. Although there would be no signal.
Yeah, true,
so
no signal. And
worthless.
also, like, one thing I don't understand about this episode is she hides notes in like a little electrical box just outside the building. I'm like, what are the chances of nobody opening that little box there in 65 years? Nobody trying to tear it down or anything like that. It just sits there for 65 years. Damage.
Yeah.
Very bizarre.
She likes to play the odds, does Tosh. The party continues on with the two of them, where Jax really wants to hang out with Jack some more, and Tosh continues to get like aggressively treated by there's like one really racist lady at this party. Everyone else seems pretty chill. This one lady's just kind of ruining the vibes for everybody, and she calls her out on it. They de-escalate it, and it becomes like not a big deal, so like don't even worry about it. The bigger thing that happens, we get more stuff with Yanto and Owen, where they're just yelling at each other. That is what we're coming closer to halfway through this episode. Mm-hmm. They have not left the base, have not changed the subject of what they're talking about.
Oh yeah, no, they've just had the same conversation.
The entire episode, they're just repeating back the same lines to each other, back and forth. You know, it's like, you can't do this, I'm in charge. You can't do this, I'm in charge. You can't do this, I'm in charge. Just non-stop. I'm in love, you're in love.
No, it's the same conversation over and over again. It feels like their scenes, maybe we could have had like 4 scenes throughout the entire episode if you really want to convey that we're trying to bring them back from the past, but like it's the same fucking conversations over and over again. The conflict feels so fucking forced, and it goes nowhere either in this episode. It's so bizarre.
I feel like this is the most aggressive I've seen the two be with one another. You know, like it's like something has happened to make these two characters suddenly not like each other in the in between episodes. You know, like I haven't seen the previous episode obviously, but I've seen the rest of this season. And Yanto's like just not a non-existent person. Yeah. So, you know, I don't know why Owen's so mad at him all the time.
And also, they're both kind of bad actors in this episode. They don't have much to work with in the first place. But like, Owen is kind of doing this kind of like gruff kind of act where he's, and Yanto just fucking moans the entire time. He just comes across like a whiny baby the entire episode. It's so I can't get on either of their sides, to be honest. I'm just watching this like it's not interesting at all.
I don't like their scenes at all. It's probably the most skippable part. You could skip all of their scenes and just watch the last scene they have when Yanto has the gun, and you will get all of the information you need from their previous scenes, like in that one scene. It's ridiculous. But we have more interesting stuff happening in the past, particularly with Captain Jack, the original, and Captain Jack, and also Captain Jack, the original's girlfriend, kind of, because she's like been following them around the party this whole time and kind of just being like, hey, what about me? Like, I'm also here. Like, do you not want to dance? Do you not want to, like, what's going on? And she goes to leave, and Jack's like, yo, man, you might die tomorrow. Go, you know, like go and kiss her.
Go and be straight.
Like, it could be your last chance. Yeah, it could be your last chance. And the guy's like, all right, fuck it, I'll go kiss her then. Goes and kisses her. She's like, oh my god, I love you. Thank you for doing that. You know, that's amazing. He comes back and he's like, well, you fucked it, Jack, or whatever he said. You know, like you know, I don't. She's in love with me. It made it way worse. Because obviously he's trying to like get rid of her. He's trying to be like, sorry, I'm not interested.
Yeah, he just wants to fuck other nice,
and also Jack. Like not say. Yeah, not say that he's not interested, because then it's going to be like, well, why aren't you interested? Are you one of those gay guys? Yeah. He's like, whoa.
There's another line earlier where the Forte's Captain Jack is speaking to our Captain Jack, and he's like, I broke my back in this battle here. And she's following both Captain Jacks up the stairs, and she's like, oh, is that the reason why you didn't want to dance with me? Which... if you go back to Captain Jack's very first episode, which was The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances, the whole analogy of like dancing in those episodes were like basically fucking, you know, like that's what Stephen Moffat wrote. The whole idea of the Doctor can't fuck anymore because he's old. I think she kind of knows what Captain Jack might be gay. I don't know. She knows something isn't right. She knows there's like too much attention that Captain Jack is paying to the other Captain Jack.
Yeah, he's not looking at her. He's looking at him.
Yeah.
You know?
But also our Captain Jack forcing old Captain Jack to go up to his girlfriend to kiss her is really bizarre. Like the entire episode, he's like, why don't you just go fuck her?
I think he never, like, maybe he was attracted to Jack, but he didn't catch the signals that Jack was sending him. And so he just sees it as, like, this guy is too focused. He's such a good captain. He's too focused on making sure his men have a good time. He's neglecting his girlfriend because he doesn't think he's gonna die tomorrow. You know, like, he doesn't know, and I know, so I've got to make sure that he at least has a nice send off. You know, and then he realizes, like, oh wait, what the fuck? This guy's like actually into me. Oh boy, that makes it even like that double tragedy because he's like, oh fuck, hang on, because this guy's gonna die tomorrow. Yeah. You know,
it is kind of like Rogue and The Girl in the Fireplace, both of those episodes, and like for both, heavily the biggest set is the dance hall, and also it's set in the past, and also Rogue was gay. That's my only comparisons here. And also, Madame de Pompadour dies. I just found out today. I don't know if I knew this before, but the actress who plays Madame de Pompadour dated David Tennant for like 2 years. I don't know why I never fucking realized that before. No such wonder they have chemistry in that episode.
Yeah. What's with David Tennant and dating people that are on the show?
Dating blonde women who are on the show. Like, I'm surprised he didn't date Billie Piper as well.
Yeah, she was too busy. Was she married at that point to...
No, she just divorced Chris Evans and hadn't quite yet. I don't think she met Lawrence Fox.
Chris Evans, not Captain America Chris
and I
Evans.
don't,
the worst Chris Evans.
I don't think she met Lawrence Fox yet, which... You know, if you had a time machine, you would want to go back and warn her. Yikes!
Well, I'm sure she loves her children that she has with him. You know, but yeah.
Yikes!
Yikes of a guy for sure. So our episode continues with Captain Jack chasing after Captain Jack as they're going down the stairs, basically being like, why are you so upset with me? And Jack, the original Jack, is like, like, you've fucking ruined everything. Like, I've got to focus on my men. I have to focus on the things. You don't know what I've seen. I've seen, like, my guys get torn apart. And he goes into this, like, really graphic, detailed description of, like, witnessing this, like, young soldier under his command getting, like, just obliterated, and, like, the trauma that's left him, in which Jack is like, yeah, well, I've also had very similar things. Like, my best friend, like, we were going, I was like, let's go to war, like, and this mysterious past mysterious past from the future, that is Captain Jack Harkness, like the one that we know. So it's a little glimpse, and I don't think this ever gets explored again.
It's been a while since I've gone through Torchwood. I think season 2 explores it quite well.
Oh, really?
It's been a while. We'll need to do more Torchwood eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it sounds interesting. But it's a really, really good scene. It's maybe one of my favorite scenes in this episode, besides the tender dance at the end. Like, I think those, like, all the Captain Jack stuff is the parts of this episode that are worth watching. Everything else in this episode, you could literally not watch it and you'll understand the plot still, because all they do is fucking search the house for clues. That's what Tosh is doing at this moment. Is fucking hiding clues for Gwen to find.
It's very Resident Evil-y, kind of Scooby-Doo-y. It's just walking around searching for clues. Let's split up. But stuff here between, John. I criticize John Barrowman, but I think he's quite good in this episode. He's playing a very matured, kind of vulnerable version of Captain Jack here, and it really works. He's not the overly campy man. He's not innuendo every 5 words. Is just a normal dude here. I really like when Captain Jack is just a normal dude who lets his guard down, and John Barrowman is decent in this episode. Not the greatest actor, but he's still decent.
I think he's good. I think he's really good in this. I think he's good in most episodes. Like John Barrowman. My complaints with John Barrowman aren't that he's a bad actor.
Oh, I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I think he's just limited. I don't think he has ever wowed me with his performance. But I can just point, like, maybe the end of Torchwood season 3. He's really good in, but.
I don't know if I've ever been, like, wowed by him. Like, oh my god, like, what a powerhouse performance. But, like, he's got a charisma to him for sure. Like, fucking Captain Jack is one of the most beloved characters in Doctor Who. Like, he is when he was, especially, like, during this peak, of David Tennant era Doctor Who. Captain Jack was right up there with like I love like fucking Chibnall brought Captain Jack back for no reason, remember? In Jodie's era, because he's just a character that people really fucking latch onto and like, and that's carried, I think, by John Barrowman's performance of him as that kind of happy-go-lucky, very gay camp sort of performance that he gives.
It is.
I like Captain Jack.
It is a shame John Barrowman does make it hard to bring him back with all of his. He just does not shut the fuck up about his behavior, and
I know. Just move on, man.
Yeah, move on. It's a shame. It's a shame. And he was thrown under the bus after the whole Noel Clarke shit. Noel Clarke was like, "If you think I'm bad, look at him," and it's like not as worse as Noel Clarke, but still pretty.
Yeah, it's but John Barrowman's not been arrested, has he? Like Noel Clarke has been arrested.
Yikes! But anyway, back to Torchwood. We get a very exciting scene of Toshiko going outside and putting the photograph of the equations inside a plastic bag. I was on the edge of my seat watching this.
We've got really exciting scenes kind of back to back here, because we've got Tosh hiding some paper in a fucking shelf. We've got her cutting her hand and writing an equation in blood. We've got fucking Owen coming into the house off screen and then looking in a clock and then leaving the building again. Like we've just got all this little treasure hunt stuff kind of back to back, and it's the worst parts of this episode. It's the treasure hunt. Just get rid of it.
And also, I've said it before, but it's so weirdly in chronological order. It's like Phyllis Manger takes a picture of the two Captain Jacks meeting, so that's when in the plot where Owen and Yanto discover the picture of the two Captain Jacks meeting. Everything's in chronological order.
I get it.
It's
it
could be,
I guess rather than finding it in blood and then cutting to Tosh, like, and you're like, oh my god, what happened? Turns out Tosh just cut her hand to write it in blood. Like, so you get that, so you don't have that suspense of, so you're not ever seeing things the way that Gwen is seeing things. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But Owen runs off to a dance hall because he really wants to know how the rift works, and somehow Phyllis Manger just has this part of the rift machine inside his office.
Just fucking really easy to find in the clock. Yeah, ridiculous.
There's also these weird cuts when Gwen is like 26, 22 on BBC iPlayer. When Gwen is walking up to the... is it an electrical box of some sort, where she's walking up to the box?
Yeah, it must be.
And it's like flash cut of like, it's like a music video of her just walking up to this part of the road. It's a little bit. There's so much weird editing in early Torchwood. I don't understand.
I'm telling you, I think that they're like, in this episode, maybe they were just like struggling for time. Maybe they had like recorded so much and they're like, fuck, this episode's really slow paced because it's just people fucking walking around the entire time. How can we make it more energetic? Like, so because they do constant speed zooms and slow motions, and like I feel like that's purely because they're like, there's no action happening in this episode. Like there's one gunshot at the end, there's no big monster they're chasing or something they're finding. It's so I think those like weird music video flash cuts are purely just to be like, something is happening, something's happening on the screen. Like just to keep your brain active because it's dull as fuck.
It kind of reminds me of I've recently watched some of the Leprechaun movies starring Warwick Davis, and in Leprechaun in the Hood, there's a scene where a character leaves his car and walks up to a bench to talk to other characters. But I guess they didn't have enough coverage of him walking out of his car and walking up to these characters, because I guess in real time it would have taken like a minute for him to walk up, and it was just been a minute of him walking. So instead they do these flash cuts similar to what we just witnessed in Torchwood, and it's like so obvious that he just did not have the correct coverage, and it's just so distracting. Leprechaun in the Hood is garbage. There's a line where Warwick Davis says, "There's a line where Warwick Davis says, a friend with weed is a friend indeed." That's the one where Warwick Davis gets really high on weed. It's so bad.
I've never seen any of the Leprechaun movies.
It's not worth it, but it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah.
But Gwen finds a little photograph of the equation and discovers that Toshiko didn't take the picture properly. There's a bit of the equation missing, so that's why Toshiko winds up writing the rest of it with blood, even though she could just write it with pencil, because pencil, she says pencil fades, but it doesn't.
But we also discover that even then they don't get the whole numbers, because the manger guy scratches out some of the blood with a pencil. I'm really confused as to what, like, just rip up the note. Just rip it off. Yeah. Like, why are you scratching it? You know,
he's wanting the Torchwood team to open up the rift. But at the same time, he's like, I must remove these last 3 numbers of the equation so they can't open up the rift. But when they open up the rift anyway, because I guess the machine works it out anyway. I don't know. I'm very confused about how the rift works.
You just press the fucking button and it does it.
This is the problem when your biggest plot device hinges on like this ex machina machine. Like, oh, okay, you're opening up the rift, but what are the chances of it helping Yanto and Jack walk out of the where they are? Like, I don't understand how it works. I'm so confused.
It doesn't matter. They just needed something to do in the episode, you know? Like, it does stuff. It does stuff and things and science and blah, blah, blah. The more interesting stuff in this part of the episode is Jack and Jack, as it always is, because they've now got these scenes together where they're kind of talking around feelings the entire time, you know? Like, you can tell that Captain Jack, the original, just like, got feelings for Jack, but Jack isn't picking up on them, or he doesn't want to see them or something, and he's so worried that, you know, like, he knows that original Jack's about to die, so he's like, God, how can I make, like, you know, this less tragic? Like, how can I make sure, like, everything is, like, right with you, you know? And meanwhile, Captain Jack original's like, kiss me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How can I make it less tragic for you? Okay, I know. Let's force you into being straight with this woman who clearly loves you and is clearly way too connected to you, and she's going to be fucking heartbroken when you die tomorrow, and she's never going to love again. Yeah. She's going to be so depressed for the rest of her life.
But what do you do? What do you do in that situation, you know? Like it's, at least he's like, at least in his perspective, he's like, you can have one night where you're gonna be happy, you know, because you're about to fucking die. And it's a really good scene. I love the performances here between the two of them. I think they're great. They got good chemistry.
They do have good chemistry. They do work together really well. I think I'm more into this relationship than I am with the Doctor and Rogue. I feel like I sense more of a connection here. It feels more natural. I was going to say something, but I forgot. Fuck. Never mind.
So the next scene that we have with them that's also interesting is when they're at Makeout Point in the building, when they're sitting down and they like hold hands, and it's like, oh my God, it's the steamiest thing in the world. Then like another couple come and like interrupt them, and they're like, haha, but you have business. We were talking about war because we're men. But it's a really, really sweet, really quiet scene. And that's where this episode shines, is those sweet, quiet scenes that are sprinkled in between Resident Evil gameplay.
Yeah, like, the scenes really work well together, to the point where at the end of the episode, when the other Captain Jack is giving the salute to our Captain Jack, I get emotional, you know. I'm tearing up when that salute happens, because I'm kind of invested in this storyline. I'm not too invested, but I'm invested enough to actually have an emotional reaction. Compare that to Rogue, where I'm like, I don't give a shit that Rogue is in hell now. Like, I really didn't like Rogue that
much. Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't like, or I liked Rogue more than you liked Rogue, but I definitely get what you're saying with the connection feels deeper in this episode. I think it's maybe just because there's also so much fucking shenanigans going on in Rogue that you don't really get like that sort of relationship built, whereas the shenanigans in this suck, you know. Speaking of shenanigans sucking, Yanto and Owen have a big old fight. They're just yelling at each other. They're continuing to do what they've done up to this point, which is yell, shout, scream, and Owen gets what he wants.
Yeah,
it's
Owen,
cool. I get
Owen tries to work the machine, but the machine isn't working, so he goes into Jack's office to find the blueprints, and Yanto's like, you can't go around in his personal belongings. He's a private man. He likes his things to be private. And Owen's like, I'm not going to touch his toys. Do you think he's referring to sex toys there?
Sex toys,
Captain Jack Harkness would be the kind of guy to leave his sex toys just lying around in different safes, you know?
Well, he has sex at
He
work.
does,
He
yeah.
needs to be able
Naked
to
hide and
access them,
seek
you know?
with Yanto next season.
Yeah. What is Yanto's plan here? Because, like, from Owen's perspective, Owen's trying to get Jack and Tosh back. Like, he's actively trying to do something to help the team. Yanto's just standing around being like, hey, you stop that. Stop it. Like, he's not actually providing any alternative to, like, this could get them back. He's just like, no, we just don't do anything. No, we just fucking leave it.
It's almost like he's like, this is shot during COVID, because he's always like 6 feet away from Owen at all times. He's like, you stop that, you stop it right now, or else I'm going to be, Captain Jack's going to be mad at you.
I'm going to tell him or you're going to get in trouble. Stop.
Like, he just stands there and he doesn't take any, like, they do punch for a little bit. Owen knocks Yanto unconscious. Well, not unconscious, but he kind of sets him back a little bit.
He kicks him in the stomach. He, like, wins him.
And then the next time we see Owen, he's trying to work with a machine and Yanto's got a fucking gun.
Yeah. It escalates quite quickly with that Yanto. I think it's a situation that really called for a gun. Like, you know, was he going to shoot his coworker? But we go back in, like, Owen, he shoots Owen in the shoulder and Owen, like, slams down the thing and it sucks. And meanwhile, this is probably the best scene of the episode, which is like the very last scene in the episode, essentially, is that dance scene with Jack and with Jack when the historical element of the episode kind of gets pushed to one side, and it's like, this is just the romance now. Like, that only thing that matters is the connection between these two. And, like, you know, maybe in reality, everyone in this dance didn't stop to stare at them, but that's kind of what it feels like for Jack. You know, they've got a spotlight on them. Like, the dance is just about them. This was a moment just about them, and we're all witnessing, like, this connection and love for this very brief, literally like 10 seconds that they have together before Jack has to go away. The entire world was watching them. It's a very, very good scene.
And all the extras look fucking disgusted as well. Like, obviously they would be, because it is the era, but I do like that touch of just them just not giving a shit about what the world thinks of, like, their relationship. They're just so caught up in this moment. It's really fucking sweet. I do think the kissing is a bit too overdramatic.
Kissing's a bit weird.
Yeah, kissing's a bit weird. It feels like it's a bit too, like, we're gonna fuck now rather than.
Well, it's weird because, like, I get that from like John Bowerman's kiss, but the actor that's playing original Captain Jack, he's like not moving his mouth. He's like just like, and like, do you want to be kissed right now? Like, give back some passion. You know, like, I guess, like, maybe he was playing it more like he's like a nervous kind of like, oh my god, I can't believe that, like, we're kissing right now. I don't even know what to do. You know, sort of thing. But I to me it was like, okay, this is okay, guys.
But I would say this episode on an overall arc is like, Captain Jack obviously is. They're physically attracted to each other, but it's not just like a sexual connection. It's like we've been through similar things. We are emotionally
they have a shared
connection.
Like trauma. Yeah.
Which is really sweet. You know, like, Captain Jack isn't usually the guy to have an emotional connection with people at this point of the show. He's a very flirtatious. He flirts with anyone with two legs, basically. Like,
yeah, he does.
But also,
he
just
does.
before this scene, I think Captain Jack reveals to Tosh that he's essentially immortal for the first time. He talks about coming back to life. A friend brought him back to life.
Oh, yeah.
And just, there's like 4 notes the composer Ben Foster plays of Rose Tyler's theme from Doctor Who, which is really nice. You know, it's like a really nice musical quotation there. It's much better than in season 2 of Doctor Who, when we just randomly used Amy Pond's theme for no reason in that one episode.
Yeah, they do just use it. They just use it because it was Doctor Who. They didn't care the reasoning behind it, or maybe there was some weird internal joke that made them want to do it. But it works really well in that scene that you were describing. It's a really nice scene. And when Jack and Tosh go back through, everything's back to normal, kind of.
I really like how the room kind of starts to fade away. Firstly, with like the background people fade away, and it's just the original Captain Jack, and he gives a salute to our Captain Jack. I think that's really sweet, and then obviously Captain Jack fades away. I think that's a really nice way of doing it.
It is. It was very. It's maybe a little bit like. Almost it borders on cheesy, but I think they managed to make it they nail the emotion because you buy into the relationship that these characters have, so it doesn't land that way. But when they're back in Torchwood, I was really kind of just like Yanto faces no punishment for shooting Owen in the back. Like he just shot a team. Like everyone's just like, I got shot. What the fuck? Good thing you missed. You got shit aim. You know, that's just what happens at Torchwood. You just shoot. You shot your coworker. It's just another fucking Tuesday. You know? Yeah,
this team is insane. You know, we're always either shocking each other or we're shooting each other. As we'll see in the next time trailer, it's just all out conflict for no reason. It's like I never understood.
They should not. They don't work well together.
They fucking don't until like
these
series
people don't
3.
like each other.
Until series 3, that's when they start to work with each other correctly. It's very strange.
Too little, too late.
But yeah, Owen's like, I didn't do anything wrong. Nothing's gonna happen. He gets immediately undercut by the next time trailer where Captain Jack is yelling at Owen for fucking causing the end of the world, which I do like. But
it's very funny.
Before the end credits, Captain Jack and Toshiko do a little toast to Captain Jack, which is really sweet. Captain Jack usually doesn't drink unless it's like a really emotional occasion or like a toast kind of thing, which is a really nice little character detail because of course he has to lead the team. He can't be drunk, although he can fuck in the office every now and again, but
sure, that's fine. He does that sober.
He's not overly professional, but
but no, it's a really nice, it's a really quiet ending to the episode as well, because it's just like a quiet toast and then it fades to the next time trailer. I was like, cool, and that's the end of the episode, which I think it's a good episode. I don't think there's a lot really going on plot wise with it. I think it's very much that romance between Jack and Jack. That's the main focal point of this episode, but I wish it got more focus. Like, we spend so much time away from them with the fucking running around a house and trying to solve this really boring mystery that's just fucking Gwen trying to find the hiding spots that Tosh would have hid a note in. Yeah, like that's the bigger threat to this episode is like non-existent really, and the quest markers are kind of dull, but the romance is really strong, and that's what makes this episode kind of stand out and shine through and makes it worth watching, honestly, because without that, fucking hell, what a dire episode.
I believe this is also the highest rated episode of season 1 of Torchwood on IMDb, which I think is fair enough. It is a really cracking episode, apart from all the Yanto and Owen and Gwen stuff. Billis Manger is a fascinating villain. We'll talk about him more next week, obviously, but I really like how he's kind of in the background. He's a very still kind of villain. He's kind of in the background all the time, which is very interesting. I kind of wanted to see him make a return in like normal Doctor Who, because I feel like he could have been very interesting against like Peter Capaldi or something, like an older Doctor. Like, he is such a fascinating character. Just the idea of somebody who's able to like go back and forward in time without a device, that's really interesting. Like, he can just physically do that. But a really fucking solid episode, apart from the parts that weren't solid.
Yeah, it's good, and we will obviously be covering part 2 in 2 weeks' time with End of Days, which is coming out on March 27th, which is a day before my birthday. Nice. Yeah, isn't that fun? I'm going to be 26 years old.
Nice.
Getting old.
You are old.
Getting old.
Enjoy, old man.
Yeah. I was 21, 22 when we started this show. God.
We've been doing this for way too long now. It's insane, and we still barely scratched the surface of like all the episodes.
So much talk. It's ridiculous.
We'll be back in 2 weeks' time.
But so look forward to it. Then you can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever there is podcasts. You can find us. We're in video form on YouTube, and that's really the best way to find us and watch us. Subscribe to us there. It would be greatly appreciated. That's Who Watches Who, a Doctor Who podcast. We're all over the place. We should have more stuff coming out soon, and we'll see you then. Thank you very, very much for listening, and bye-bye.
Bye.